What is up, winning team? Hello, welcome and welcome back, because we are continuing with our Saul versus David story arc in the Bible in 1 Samuel 18 right now. So head there if you have your own Bibles so that you can read it for yourself, so you know your girl's not just talking out of her ass or anything like that. Sorry about my voice. I'm a little bit wheezy. And also, I just realized this all started when I got off the plane coming back here. And the air was just so beautiful in Poland, by the way. And I feel like it's because it's like, apparently it's the largest country in all of Europe. I haven't verified that for myself, like looking at the map. But then again, I do think the maps are lying, but that's a story for another day. And it's only got a population of 40 million. And there are so many trees there, like so many trees. They're like not doing this nonsense like they're doing around here, cutting trees down. So I feel like the air is just so well filtered by God's filters, and it's lovely. So I don't know if there's a correlation, but anyway, yeah, I'm going to make soup anyway after this. So we're in 1 Samuel 18, verse 17. We just finished off with Saul trying to kill David for the first time. And the whole topic of conversation here, the theme, is jealousy. As winners, we must understand a couple of things. Number one is that when you win, there are going to be jealous people. They're going to be jealous people, okay? Because a lot of people, their way of dealing with things, whereas we take accountability for our lives and the choices that we made and our mistakes and that we have to, create the environment, the world, the circumstances that we want by working for it and taking accountability. Jealous people do the opposite. They fall into this delusion of, you have what I deserve, you have what I should have, or I'm disadvantaged because I don't have this thing that you do. Listen, guys, we're all disadvantaged because of something else that somebody had. We're all disadvantaged in some way. It's a very loser mentality, right? But the important thing is that jealous people are dangerous to be around. And so, I was always the one, I tried to resist for a long time, saying to you guys that it's important. Sometimes it's important to remove some people from your life. It's important not to have jealous people around you, because they can't control themselves, as we saw with Saul, who now starts to try to kill David. All David did was actually what Saul asked him to do. He said, can somebody kill Goliath? If they do, they can have this amount of the kingdom. They can marry my daughter. David did the damn thing. He sends David out. They go to war, whatever. David's a man of war. David's a man of the people. The people are impressed with his how he's doing things. He did nothing wrong. This is the thing. And this is the thing as a winner, you guys. I've learned this lesson the hard way. It doesn't matter what you do or what you think. Don't ever think that everybody thinks the way you do. That's what I've learned, especially jealous people. So let's go on here anyway. Because this is important, especially because you guys are such lovely and beautiful souls. I want you guys to be safe in this life, Not to forget, the Pharisees killed Christ. That's how serious this jealousy thing is. Okay, so 1 Samuel 18, and we're starting at 17 now. And again, the rest of the series is all in the description box. Then Saul said to David, "Here is my elder daughter Merab. I will give her to you for a wife. Only be valiant for me and fight the Lord's battles." For Saul thought, listen, let not my hand be against him, but let the hand of the Philistines be against him. And David, I do think I read some of this, but it doesn't matter, because I'm bring up new points this time. And David said to Saul, "Who am I? Who are my relatives, my father's clan in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king?" But at the time, Merab, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David. She was given to Adriel, the Meholite, for a wife. So I want to just quickly point out, notice here how David is consistently humble. He's like, who am I to be married to the daughter of the king? Like, who am I? He's not seeing himself. And again, jealous people tend to project their feelings, right? So right now what's happening between Saul and David is Saul is looking at David. Look what he just said. He wants to hand him over to the Philistines. He's like, he knows, touch not the anointed of the Lord. Like, I better not try to kill him, because obviously the Lord's with him. But if I just give him to the Philistines, you see what I'm saying? This is how dumb it is. This is how dumb people actually are. This is how dumb jealous people actually are. Like, and when I say jealous people, guys, I'm not talking about your average little bit of jealousy of life. I'm talking about people that have fully allowed it to consume them, and it's now become something that is one of their driving forces in life, is their jealousy. They wake up every day with this feeling of jealousy and whatever. I'm talking about those people. I'm not talking about the average, you felt jealous about this, that. Everybody feels jealous about something at some point, okay? So I don't want you guys to feel like, oh my gosh, I felt jealous yesterday about this. It's fine. It's not about that. It's about people who become consumed in jealousy, okay? So now Saul is thinking about is getting rid of David, as if getting rid of David is going to solve his problems. This is exactly what I think about jealous people that I've encountered. It's like, okay, you've swayed all the jury of the sheeple against me. You've lied on my name, whatever. What do you gain out of this? And that's the funny thing, because in those situations, and like for me, this is why I be laughing in my videos these days, because I'm like, it's so funny, because isolating me just meant that I got really strong and close with the Lord, which means now I am going to come out on top anyway, because now I'm really close with the Lord, and now I have the Lord and the whole kingdom of heaven on my side. I'm in the winning team now. I'm the winning team. I'm the captain of the winning team because of you idiots. You dumb dingus dingbats that thought that jealousy and swaying the Jew of the sheep and whatever was going to work out, just like Saul, being driven by the people, being driven by the adoration of the people. And we see here David, David's, and David is just like, I don't even have a right to be here. He's like, I ain't got a right to be here. So that's funny. Anyway, verse 20, now Saul's daughter Michal, loved David, and they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. Saul thought, let me give her to him, that she may be a snare for him, that the hand of the Philistines may be against him. Again, this is the consumption of jealousy. Jealousy, it consumes you. Think about it. Saul, this is your daughter. This is your child. You should want her to be happy and to be with the man that she loves and to have a long-lasting, happy, thriving marriage. But you're out here like willing to sacrifice your own daughter because you're so consumed in jealousy that you're willing, because she likes him. The reason why he's like, oh, okay, you like David? Great. This is the perfect thing to go on in my plan of jealousy consumption. Dumb. And just also selfish. Again, jealous people are deeply selfish people, which again is why it works well with the Jezebel spirit, because Jezebel is selfishness. Like she is selfish. Like I said, Jezebel only cares about herself. She doesn't care about nothing else, nobody else, and nothing else. Right? That's something so important to understand. So that's why that works well with the jealous types of people. That's why that works well with the spirit of death. You see how those things all work together, and why Jezebel was quick to just go and kill somebody to give Ahab what he wants so she can control him. Of course, because again, like I said, you become deeply selfish. It goes back to what I said like about Kris Jenner. Everything she does is for herself. Even what she does with her kids, I don't believe she really loves them as much as it sounds like. I saw a clip the other day from the Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Sometimes I wonder why they post these things. I'm like, is it not obvious to everybody what's being seen here? Like, but then I remember that, again, a Jezebel knows that it doesn't really matter what you say, because even if you put the truth in people's faces, they're not going to believe it anyway. And hence the battle between myself and Jezebel at the minute. And it was, Courtney had gone to therapy, and I was thinking it's quite interesting because she's the firstborn child like me. Courtney had gone to therapy, and she starts trying to talk about something deep and emotional, and she wasn't even blaming Chris for anything. She just was trying to have a conversation about something she learned, and Chris quickly changed subject. These Jezebelic, these selfish people, these Jezebels, these Sauls of the world, these people, they don't care about anybody's feelings. They're indifferent because all they care about is themselves. They care about being worshipped. They care about being put on top. They don't care. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your experience. They do not care. So here we see that Saul, again, it bewilders me. Can I tell you something that actually bewilders me, genuinely, as a woman especially, why this is crazy to me? When I see like how some men are, like when it comes to like having a daughter, right? And obviously sons as well, but I feel like it's a little bit different, right? When I see how some men actually are, it shocks me that it's possible that you can have some men who seem to, like, I can't even describe what it's like, the level of love they seem to have for their own daughters. And then we have, on the other hand, this. I don't understand how these two types of people can exist in the same world, and these two types of men can exist in the same world. You know what I mean? So that's just insane to me. But yeah, so another thing to point out, Saul is willing to literally sacrifice his own daughter because he's that consumed by jealousy. Like, I might even just leave this point here, because honestly, to be really honest, and to be honest and completely, totally honest with you all, and everything to do with honesty and all of it honest, I'm just chatting now. yeah, so again, he's ready for his daughter to have a heartbreak. Surely that's the last thing you'd want as a father. I don't know, guys. I'm not a man, so can any of the men speak up? I'm not a man, but I am a woman, and the last thing I want for either of my children is for them to experience heartbreak. So you're just happy to just, oh yeah, marry my daughter who actually likes him. So she actually likes him. This isn't even strategic. This isn't even like a, daughter, listen, this is what we need to do for the kingdom. You marry David. This is our little plot and plan. Could have been something like that, right? Could have been something like, at least she's in on it. But no, he's willing to just sacrifice his own daughter's emotions and his own daughter's feelings with his second of jealousy. It's disgusting behavior. Actually embarrassing. He should be embarrassed with himself. So anyway, verse 21, Saul thought, let me give her to him that she may be a snare for him, a snare, and that the hand of the Philistine may be against him. Therefore Saul said to David a second time, you shall now be my son-in-law. And Saul commanded his servants, speak to David in private and say, behold, the king has delight in you and all his servants love you. Now then become the king's son-in-law. And Saul's servants spoke these words in the ears of David. And David said, does it seem to you a little thing to become the king's son-in-law, since I'm a poor man and have no reputation? So again, David is actually more concerned here with Saul than Saul is with himself. This is again something I've always experienced with people, jealous people. It's like you're looking at the person and their actions aren't making sense. It's like you're not doing what's even best for you. Like you have a reputation, you have a kingdom. Who your daughter marries is a big deal. We all know that even in the world of today, this is why there's all this contention around the world. We even had issues here in this country with Meghan Markle. You know, I don't think that the Meghan Markle story arc issue was ever anything to do with race. I think it was everything to do with wanting to maintain control of the royal bloodline. Specifically, I don't think it had anything really to do with the race of Meghan Markle. I don't think that was a big deal, you know, because these people, as we know, they all, you know, there's a lot of incest going on around in the royal families of Europe, you know what I mean? The French, the Frances and the Englands of it all, because they're trying to maintain. So David's even looking at Saul like, you're a king, like you have to be really careful about, like, again, David's understanding Saul's role more than Saul is, and Saul is not understanding because he's so consumed in jealousy. He's so busy being jealous, right? Again, in a situation he created for himself. He was the people's choice. God even picked him first. He messed up. Like, this is what I feel like is going to be the experience of a lot of the leaders today. This is what I'm realizing as I'm reading this. They're going to like be taken down by the Lord or taken out from their situations and then be bitter about it. But it's like, but you had the time, you had the opportunity, you had the chances. We saw God give multiple chances. The first time God was like, look, you can stay as king. It's just that now the kingship will not continue through your bloodline. That was the first punishment. You see, God doesn't just rush in like, you're going to hell as soon as possible, hoping for that. He's always trying to give us chances. And then so when we get to this stage and these stages, we get to a point where you either take the accountability that I got myself here and I need to take responsibility for my actions, or you project onto somebody else your feelings and you get consumed by jealousy, which is what we're seeing by Saul here. And so now he's plotting and planning. So that's just insane. But anyway, let me finish this because I want to finish this bit here and then we'll go on to another part. So David again is like, look, you can't just be marrying off anybody to anyone because this is your daughter. This is your kingdom. Like, you got to think about what's best for your kingdom. You're like, you're not thinking. It's like, why are you not thinking? And I get it now. These people are not thinking because they're consumed with their jealousy. That's exactly what it is. I really never understood that, but now I do. Praise Jesus. Okay. Verse 24, and the servant of Saul told him thus, and so did David speak. Then Saul said, thus shall you say to David, the king desires no bride price except 100 foreskins of the Philistine, that he may be avenged of the king's enemies. I did read this before. So again, he's like, it's a fine. You're poor. You can't afford it. Okay. Because, you know, obviously there's always a bride price in these things. You can't afford it. It's fine. Just bring me the foreskins of the Philistines, right? Send him back into the enemy. Hoping he's never going to come back. He's going to be dead. He doesn't care that his daughter's going to be there crying in her room, heartbroken, because she was just about to marry the man of her dreams. And now her father is willing to send him out into war to be dead because he's a jealous, bitter, vindictive victim loser. Now Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistines. Exactly. And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David. It pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law before the time had expired. David arose and went along with his men and killed 200 of the Philistines. They killed 200. He was required to do what was it? 100, I believe. Where is it? Yeah, 100. He did double. He's like, oh yeah, you just want 100? I'm gonna give you 200. This is the thing. You see, overachieving is another thing that really bothers jealous people. This whole thing. But how are you supposed to know? You're just trying to be the best version of yourself. How are you supposed to know that being the best version of yourself is so damn offensive? It's only offensive to losers, you guys. It's only offensive to losers. Another winner will always be happy. Like, this is one of the things I realized. I edited this video. You guys are going to see it's already uploaded. I just need to make the thumbnail of my Poland vlogs. In the first one, I have a long part where I'm talking about, a competition that I did. And I realized at that dance competition, right, it was insane how one thing I learned about being a dancer that I miss is that dancers, everybody wants to see you win. Like, everyone's so happy for you to actually kill it. Like, they want to see you kill it. And then when you're like performing, they're screaming for you, they're cheering for you, they want more for you. Like, that energy I realized is an energy that I miss, because it's definitely not an energy that's around in general. Other people want you to quieten down. A lot of times when people want to quieten you down or dull you or tell you to tame you, it's not because you've done something wrong. This is what I've realized. It's because they're intimidated by your greatness. Hell yeah. And David brought their foreskins, which were given in full number, to the king, that he might become the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him his daughter Michal for a wife. That's crazy. I'm actually thinking about what that must be like. That's actually kind of insane to have just gone there with the soldiers and all of you just like cutting off all these foreskins. But anyway, it is what it is. The Bible said what it said. And now Saul, who I think obviously thought, oh, well, she's not going to marry him anyways, he's going to get killed by the Philistines, going to hand over his daughter. And now his daughter is going to get a taste of a real man. You know what I'm talking about? Long live the patriarchy. So I'm really... But when Saul saw and knew that the Lord was with David and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him, Saul was even more afraid of David, you see. So Saul was David's enemy continually. Then the commanders of the Philistines came out to battle, and as often as they came out, David had more success than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was highly esteemed. Praise Jesus. So you see that everything that's happening to Saul, this is why, like, look, if you're dealing with jealousy and you realize you're a jealous person, it's fine. Pray to the Lord for deliverance, address it and release it. Because the thing is, cast it out in the name of Jesus. Because the thing is, it only serves to work against you. Nobody else is going to take an L as a result, right? Or only other people who are working with you, who are relying on you. It only works out for you to have an L. Everything that's happening in Saul's head, he's becoming more and more afraid of David, but he's the one orchestrating it all. David was just there with the sheep. David was just there out with the sheep, doing what he was doing. He wasn't bothering nobody. He wasn't even at the table when Samuel came. He wasn't even at the battle where his brothers were in the war. I think he came to bring food, or I can't remember why he came, but you can check it out in the playlist. Well, in the Bible for yourself. But now Saul is, more and more afraid. No one did anything to him. He did it to himself. And this is the thing that why I say, guys, winners have to be some people that can hold themselves accountable, and losers are always accusers, because they have to have somebody else to blame. They have to have another reason, and they orchestrate it for themselves because they think like that. They literally, what is that phrase that people use? Like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They create self-fulfilling prophecies. And that's why it's so funny that the losers always prepare the way for the winners by just being losers themselves. That's the funniest thing. That's why I think this whole game of life is hilarious. And that's why I think society is boring. Because it's like, you really think the way society operates and the way people operate, it's like you really think, you and your pride, that this is going to work out for you for the better. All you're doing is setting people up for better. Just like with David, everybody shoving him to the side. All that did was give him an opportunity to become very strong in knowing how to look after sheep, and very strong with the Lord, and having an intrinsic sense of contentment that comes from within, rather than extrinsic sense of contentment that comes from the adoration of people, which is the real snare. Which is why it's funny that Saul thought, oh, Michal was going to be a snare to David. He hasn't thought about what the snares were to him, and he hasn't even done the work to figure that out for himself. And he's still so busy thinking about David. It's like, bruh, what about what's ensnaring you? Maybe we should focus there, because you're the one right now who's actually in trouble, and David is the one who's about to take off and become king. Anyway, we'll leave that there, you guys. We're going to continue on in the next part, which will be going into 1 Samuel 19, where again, Saul is about to try to kill David again. But stay tuned, you guys. The full David Saul playlist is all going to be linked in the description box below, so you can watch the other videos if you want to. Other than that, if life's a game, is pay to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one.